Welcome back everybody to more Warhammer lore. In today's video we will be delving into the infamous, the disgusting, the lovable Lord Skrolk of the Skaven Empire. Lord Skrolk is one of the most legendary disciples of Decay within Clan Pestilence, and one of the 9 legendary Plague Lords. Skrolk was once a simple plague monk, but his devotion to the Horned Rat drove him through the long struggle for power, which eventually led him to Skavenblight to offer his services to Nurglich. Nurglich set him on many a long and arduous trial, including traversing the infamous Blindworm Labyrinth beneath Clan Pestilence hold in Lustria. Success gained him the position he holds to this day. That Lord Skrolk walks the world is an affront to nature, and a sign of the power of the great Horned Rat. Plants wither and die where Skrolk treads, and the very air seems to congeal and darken, as if stained by his baleful presence. Skrolk is ancient, having existed many spans of even the most long-lived of his foul kind. Rather than weakening with age, Lord Skrolk is possessed with a diabolic vitality that belies the years and the heaped diseases he carries. Indeed, Skrolk is bent and gnarled by the weight of countless corruptions. The flesh that is not hidden by his tattered shroud is leathery, covered in a layer of dripping bubos. Even worse, mysterious hunching growths promise something still more virulent. Each new pox only toughens the aged plague monk, who himself has become a disease that walks. Lord Skrolk is one of the Plague Lords, as we said previously, the rulers of Clan Pestilence under the direct command of Arch-Plague Lord Nurglich, he who is 10th on the council. It was the sight of the radiant corruption of the Arch-Plague Lord that caused Skrolk to claw out his own eyes, as he wished to see no other vision to obscure that last glimpse of perfection. Despite empty sockets, Skrolk moves assuredly and claims a magical sight that sees in vivid hues of decay. Despite his seeming blindness, Skrolk's reflexes are rather amazing. He can catch a fly out of the air, or rather, he could if any flies were able to enter the aura that emanates from his loathsome hide. Insects literally drop dead from the noxious fumes surrounding Skrolk, and only extremely devotees can abide his presence. In battle, Lord Skrolk leads from the front, so he can unleash his rabid fury. He bears the Rod of Corruption, a dreadful staff of spiderwood, iron-capped with spikes and covered in writhing runes of power. Many censers hang from his chain, wafting foul vapors. Lord Skrolk occasionally carries plague scriptures with him, and on occasion will bear one of the sacred volumes of the Liber Botanicus, the toxic tome of ultimate disease. It is important to note that any member of Clan Pestilence can become a Plague Lord. All you have to do is survive a plunge in one of the many toxic festering cauldrons taken from the fanatics of Nurgle. The more diseases you take in, and the more prestige and rank you will earn in the clan. This is how Plague Priests come into being, as well as how one shows total devotion and faith in the Great Horned One, as you rely upon his mercy to allow you to live through these trials, and serve him as one of his devoted. Lord Skrolk, if you can't tell by his physical appearance, has taken many of these baths. Somehow, he has not only survived, but has gained considerable power from the many diseases racking his body. As we mentioned earlier, he should be blind, but has some kind of magical sight as well as a long-lasting vitality, as he is mentioned in some of the earliest tales of Clan Pestilence, a few thousand years ago. And unlike most of the Lords of Decay, he does not appear to partake in Clan Moulder's Warpstone salves to prolong his life. Indeed, his existence is proof that the Horned Rat takes care of his faithful servants. Now, unfortunately, there is not much else on Lord Skrolk outside of the End Times novels, which I do not wish to cover here, yet, at least, but he is one of the main antagonists in one of the Great Greyseer Thanquol novels, in which he is tasked by Arch-Plague Lord Nurglich to obtain the Wormstone, a great pillar of pure tainted warpstone the clan used to decimate a rival clan of Skaven, before the Greyseer can use it to his own ends. I won't ruin the novel for you guys, but in the story, Skrolk uses his appearance to often deceive and catch as many enemies off guard. For instance, not many realize that the Plague Lord is blind in fact, as he has warpstone nuggets polished to look like his eyes placed in their sockets, which if you know much about Skaven, you know that warpstone, when ingested by one of the Ratkin, can imbue great power. And for a powerful caster, like Skrolk, this is an emergency deception used to, in fact, get himself out of a bind deep beneath under Altdorf, fighting the forces of Thanquol and the defenders of the surface dwellers led by the Shadowmancer Jeremiah Scrivener. Of course, this is a story for another day, but one more point I wish to impart on you about Skrolk is that he is not a bumbling fanatic as one would expect a member of Clan Pestilence. No, he has a very keen intelligence and an affinity for commanding troops on the battlefield, probably tied to the many wars he has fought in the name of Nurglish and the Council of 13. Now, we are receiving Skrolk as a legendary lord in the Skaven, leading the forces of Clan Pestilence. He is primarily a caster from the Wind of Plague, but he's not bad in melee either. Of course, he gives off a plague aura, meaning that he inflicts poison damage and morale damage. In addition, Clan Pestilence units in his army receive a drastic upkeep reduction, as well as a kind of ward save for rat ogres and hell pit abominations. He will also have access to Warpstone tokens to buff his casting abilities, as well as to access his legendary gear. The first of which is the Rod of Corruption, which is a mighty staff with a large flail at the end. Those that are struck or are near this unholy artifact instantly decay or die by its corruption. It is essentially a bigger, better plague sensor and allows him to do excellent armor-piercing damage. He also has the Libra Bubonicus, which is one of the most holy of artifacts within Clan Pestilence, containing some of the greatest and most horrific lores conceived of these dire fanatic monks. It is a collection of plagues written on tanned skin that the Pestilence has come up with through its entire existence. Now, unfortunately, that is all I could come up with on Lord Skrolk. As I said earlier, there simply is not a lot to go on, but he does deserve his own video as he is such a pivotal character in the lore as one of the heads of the great clans. And with that, I am wrapping up this video on Lord Skrolk. Make sure to like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It really does help the channel grow and more people to see the videos. I would like to give out a personal thank you to all my new subscribers. I appreciate the support for more lore videos, and of course all my existing subscribers that have encouraged me to keep making these lore videos. Now, if I got something wrong or forgot something, some kind of information, I don't think I have, but feel free to leave it in the comment section as it will help us all learn, as I do not consider myself an expert of Warhammer lore, more like an apprentice, perhaps. And with that, I am also doing a Lord Skrolk Skaven campaign. It's going to be my first Warhammer 2 Skaven campaign. So if you want to check that out, hop on over to the channel. I'll have it linked in the description. But with that final little tidbit, my name has been Jimbo Thick. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Have a good day.